Just have to dwell on this one point wherein Surendra, I want you also to come in. Almost this is the common question being asked for this stock every single time, right? HDFC Bank. It's almost become an ITC meme of 2 years ago that when will HDFC Bank move? When FIs come in? When will FIs come in? Very difficult to say that. So dwell in on this, both of you. I mean, is a lot of private sector banking moves dependent on when foreign flows come in? And if so, when do foreign flows come in?
So I'll just touch upon the fundamental aspects first and then on to the flow side. So when you look at HDFC, again, Q4, their margins against the expectation of a decline, there was an improvement. I think still that kind of a confidence is not there in terms of how much of that can sustain in 1Q. And if we still see both deposits as well as margins holding on in 1Q, that will give much more confidence and improve the visibility on the core ROA profile for HDFC, which I think may drive the flows into the name as well, and maybe on the FI side, Surendra can take that up.
Yeah, so let me comment on the private banks rather than commenting on one stock.
Yeah, not one stock, yeah, of course. Huh?
So I think a few things to keep in mind. Firstly, we track AUM of around roughly 400-500 billion on the EM side on a monthly basis to see how their portfolios are moving. And there, after a long time, we are seeing India as an underweight.
As an underweight?
Yeah, so okay. India is now approximately 100 basis points underweight in those EM portfolios, and we use it kind of a proxy for the overall EM space. And this is like after at least a decade. Okay. In that period, they have always been overweight. Of course, India's weightage in the index has obviously gone up in the last 4 or 5 years. So that's point one. Secondly, I think if you see, we have already seen significant outflows this calendar year. So right now, positioning is relatively light on India from underweight perspective. Secondly, if you look at the market multiple, and we were just looking at it at the start of the day today, we are at 19 times 1 year forward earnings, which is exactly the 5-year average multiple. Okay, so I think people get comfortable that, yeah, and obviously people, before an event, people typically always kind of become a little careful, let the event get over and so on. So I think we are getting to a point, and again, also there have been EM outflows. So there are multiple things going on, but overall construct with that underweight position is a lot better, right? If you start seeing EM flows improve and India growth outlook continues to be superior, there is a case to be made for some of that to reverse. So I think those are the factors we are really watching out for. And yes, if those flows come in, it will benefit private sector banks. Having said that, I still think it's not only contingent on private sector banks.
Yeah.
If you see growth improving, right, the fundamentals improving where there have been some question marks in the past few months, you could even see domestics kind of stepping up and adding those stocks. Because on a valuation basis, there are not that many large pockets in the market today where valuations look very reasonable in the historical context. Okay, so private sector banks is one of those very few pockets. So I think you get some conviction on earnings. It becomes attractive for everybody. EM inflows happen. Upside.
Yeah, and also